Hello, all, and welcome to this quick tip. In our session today, I'll be providing a few tips for Amazon Q developer. Now, all of us have worked with this particular tool. I've created multiple labs on this as well. I myself have my own experiences. I've also got feedback from others. I've also read the documentation. A lot of things have gone in order to work with this particular tool. From our experiences, some of them are good, some of them are bad. But I wanted to share a few things that you should keep in mind while you are working this particular tool. Now, a lot of people have come and told me that the responses that they receive from Q developer are not that accurate. So if you want to improve your accuracy of your responses that you get from Q developer, try and provide context to this particular tool. So give it some background. Okay, you have to communicate with this tool. You have to tell the tool what you are trying to achieve and then see if the accuracy of the responses that you receive from Q is better or has it improved or not. But providing context will help. So don't just jump straight to, okay, hey, I need you to do this for me. Say that, okay, I'm trying to build, let's say, a calculator. And for that, I need you to write a class that does, addition, multiplication, division, subtraction, maybe sine, cosine, whatever the case may be. So try to provide some context to Q and ensure that it understands what you are trying to do. The reason why you are providing some context, why you are providing some background, is to ensure that Q understands what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve, and hence the results that Q will come up with will be far more accurate. The responses that you'll receive from Q will be far more accurate. Now, this is absolutely important. Remember, Amazon Q developer is a coding assistant. Okay, it's an AI tool. It's a coding assistant, but you are still the coder or the developer. You are still the driver. It is not an autonomous coding tool or anything of that sort. You are still the driver. You still have to code. So the tip over here is that you go ahead and code normally as you do. And if Q provides a suggestion while you're typing or while you have stopped, then explore that suggestion. But it does not mean that Q is going to write the whole code for you while you are sitting over there and all that you are going to do is okay, review and add code, review, add code. Yes, when you're telling it to generate a class or a function, it will do that. But for that also you have to review it. So you still have to code. It is not something that is going to replace you as a developer. No, it is going to help you while you're coding. It is going to generate some code for you. It is going to improve your code. But you are still the driver. You still have to code and you still have to do your work. So please remember, it's a coding assistant. It is an interpreter that while you are coding, it is going to help you. It is going to provide you suggestions. But for it to provide suggestions, you still have to code. It is not replacing your effort for coding. It is not doing that. So your expectations from Q has to be set correctly. The next point is that break down any complex problems into smaller components, okay? Smaller logical units. Remember again that this is an AI tool. It is not a blue gene computer that is going to solve all of your complex problems in one shot. Okay, it's not designed to, solve your chess next move or whatever. It's not designed for that. It is designed to work on a specific problem as long as it is given the context and it understands from your prompt what you are trying to achieve. So if there is a complex problem, let's say if there's a complex SQL query, break that query down into smaller queries so that it understands what you are trying to do and then eventually build on that query. Just don't tell Q, okay, you need to look at this query and now tell me what is the best thing for me to do. No. That is not how this particular tool works. Take your complex problem, break it down into smaller logical units, and then work with it. Remember again, this is not a blue gene computer, it's not a supercomputer. It is just working with you and is trying to help you out to ensure that your life becomes easier. But for that, you still have to put in effort. Okay? If you don't put in effort, Q will not do anything. This is another most important thing, which I don't know why people don't do. See, Q is learning, but along with Q, you also have to learn. Okay, Q is learning, you're providing feedback, you're opening support cases, they're working on it, the tool is working, the model is learning behind, right? Everything is happening. But it's not that Q alone is working over here and you are not doing anything. You also have a learning curve. And your learning curve is to experiment with different prompts and see how Q works with it. What is the different result that you get if you change the prompt? Whether it is chatting with Q, whether it is code generation, whether you're asking a question about a specific service to Q, whatever the case may be, you can actually go back, and I would recommend that you go back and execute all those hands-on labs that I have created on Amazon Q Developer. And you will see how I have interacted with you, how I've changed my prompt if I'm not getting the desired output or the desired result. So don't get scared. Okay, experiment with prompts. Chat with this particular tool. That is, in fact, one of the points over here. Chat with Amazon Q Developer. And most importantly, ask for assistance. Don't just come and tell me, okay, it's not generating any, suggestion for me. Okay, if you need assistance, ask for it. Okay, but it's important for you to experiment with different prompts, generate different prompts, communicate with this tool. You will also learn as to what prompt works best with this particular tool, how to ask a question, how to get this particular tool to generate code, how to get this particular tool to improve your code, how to get this particular tool to generate a unit test for you. So experiment with different prompts and see how the result varies. And you will also learn as to what is the best prompt or what is the best way of working with Amazon Q Developer. Use standard common blocks. I think this goes without saying for natural language prompts. Now, this is another important one. A lot of people give vague prompts, right? I need you to generate code for this. No, be specific. Okay, please write what is the context, and in your prompt, be specific. Don't be vague. Provide details. So, being specific, providing details, and providing some context will help. Just don't make a vague prompt that I need you to, write a class to do this. Give some additional information as to what you're trying to do. Let's say, for example, in one of the labs, we were developing a calculator, if I'm not wrong. Then say, hey, I need you to create a project that, creates a calculator. In this particular calculator, I need you to add a class. And in this class, I need you to add functions for add, subtract, multiplication, division, whatever. And if you want, you can again break this down into smaller components. Okay, you did not go whole 9 years. You experiment with different prompts as to how much you can understand and how much it can chew, bite, and work for you, so that it does not generate any garbage and it generates an accurate response for you. Remember, you can start from creating a class and then add functions, or you can create a simple function and then over a period of time wrap it up or add it to a class, depending upon what approach you want to take. Now, this is another key point that I was talking about. Chat with this particular tool. Ask for assistance if you need. And most importantly, please be patient. It takes a little while to generate that particular piece of code. You must have seen in the hands-on lab as well. It takes a while to generate the code. It takes a while to understand what your request is. So chat with this particular tool. Chatting with this tool, experimenting with prompts, being specific with your prompts, providing details and not making them vague or generic, and providing context will help to improve your experience with Amazon Q Developer. This is another important one. A lot of people, once Q generates the code, simply add that to your to their class, or to their project or to their function, wherever it is. Review that code suggestion. Remember, again, you are still the driver. Whatever Q, consider Q as your assistant, or like a junior developer who's written a code. You review the code suggestion, you review the code also that is written, and you make the necessary edits and ensure that the code actually does what you intend the code to do. Just don't blindly add the code and then come back and say, oh, there's so many errors now. No. Q is just helping you. So review what the code suggestion is. Let's say you review before accepting it. After you accept it, at least edit that code. Or even before accepting it, say that, okay, I need you to make these changes in this code. Till the time you get the code that is intended, as per what you desire that code to do. It's okay to even accept the code and then make the changes. But the important message over here is review the code, especially before accepting it. Let's say if you accept the code as well, review the code after it's being accepted, and most importantly, edit the code as needed. But if you feel while reviewing that this code needs to be edited, then don't hesitate to do that. It is not perfect. It is just helping you. Remember, you are still the driver, you are still the developer, you are still the coder, and it is your responsibility to ensure that the code that is generated and that is added to your class, to your function, to your project is not garbage. That is your responsibility. And one of the best uses of Q is to generate unit tests. So use this tool to generate unit tests. So if Q is not providing you accurate suggestions, chat with this particular tool. And remember, it can give you code snippets, it can give you full classes, it can give you functions. But remember to be specific, right? It is very important for you to be specific in this case. Be specific, provide details, and provide the required context. And most importantly, chat with this particular tool. Ask for assistance. Be assertive. Be proactive. And it will do it. As long as it's not vague, it's not generic, and it understands what you want, it will do it. And remember, it may not understand in the first time that you say, okay, I need you to do this. You have to chat with this tool and experiment with different prompts. Okay. So hopefully these tips are helpful. This is it from me today. I will see you shortly in some other video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.